In the parashot of the parasha of this week, the parasha of Balak, the major figure is Bilam. And most of the Shabbat we spoke about Bilam and a few aspects of his personality, goals, whatever he tried to do. But tonight we have to go deeper to understand why the Torah emphasizes a lot about Bilam. There is a very beautiful Gemara in Baba Batra when they talk about who wrote the Torah Nevi'im Ktuvim. And they say that Moshe Rabbeinu wrote the Torah and the story of Bilam. Well, the story of Bilam is one of the many stories of the Torah. Why you say the Torah and the story of Bilam? This is what you call timing. Huh? So, and when the prophets are talking about the history of Am Yisrael, they say, don't forget what Bilam wanted to do to you. I have a whole list of enemies that with a lot of very interesting description about what they want to do to Am Yisrael. Why we emphasize the point of Bilam? Very interesting, you know. Bilam is still, it says that when Bilam say the bracha, Matov Olecha Yaakov, such a beautiful synagogues, since then all the arguments start in the synagogue. Maybe plus using the vacuum cleaner in the time of the shiur, in the middle of the night. But it's 3,000 years old, so he was a very powerful person. This week I would like to use a lot the Targum of the Torah, which is called Yonatan ben Uziel, which gives a lot of very interesting input about Bilam and all the story over here. So the pasuk says, "Vayishlach malachim el Bilam ben Beor Ptora." Who is this? Balak, the king of Moab. He is sending malachim, which mean messengers, to Bilam. So, how would Yonatan ben Uziel translate this pasuk? So he says, "Veshadar is Gadim," and he sent messengers, Levat, Lavan Arami. And I ask you, well, you know, we're talking about over here, it's about 500 years difference, so at least we talk about over here somebody that was with Yaakov. Now we're talking about after coming out of Egypt, and we are going to go to Israel now. But Yonatan ben Uziel connects Bilam to Lavan. According to him, Bilam was Lavan Arami. And the question is like this. And the Gemara says the same thing. The Gemara says, he is Bilam, he is Lavan, he is Kushan Rishatayim. Who is Kushan Rishatayim? Those of you who know the history. After Yehoshua passed away, and the Jews in Israel, there was an enemy came by the name Kushan Rishatayim, and Hashem sent Kalev ben Yefuneh, had the younger brother by the name Atniel ben Knaz, and he was the Shofet, the leader that saved Am Yisrael from this enemy, Kushan Rishatayim. So Bilam, Lavan, Kushan Rishatayim, it's one if not one individual, is one line, a common base of enemy. About Lavan, if you come to Lavan, Lavan is, when we say in Haggadah Shel Pesach, we say Lavan bikesh la'akor et hakol. Lavan wanted to uproot everything. How do we know it? From the word Arami Oved Davi. That Lavan wanted to uproot everything. What Lavan wanted to do?
Not destroy, completely destroy.
Why? How can you complete? Not. What is that? How do we say? The pasuk says Arami Oved Davi. Lavan Arami wanted to destroy, to destroy everything.
Let's start with the roots.
And if Lavan, yes.
By destroying Yaakov Avinu, nothing will continue.
You know, when Yaakov left his father's house, Esau wanted to kill him. And he sent Eliphaz over there. Nobody talks about Eliphaz. He put him in the list, one of the lists. You know, there is a whole list. But something was special about Lavan. That he was trying to uproot something, trying to destroy something, more than any average enemy.
When Eliphaz came, he said, my father sent me to kill you. We know exactly what his intention. Over here he says, Johnny Amakah, everything is good. I'm doing chesed to you, I gave you for everything is mine.
So what was it? What was the mission of destroying him? What Abraham is trying, what Lavan or Bilam are trying to do that is so different between other enemies? Yes, sir.
I think when Esau sent his son to kill, he wants physical destruction. Lavan was working more on spiritual, to make him weaker spiritually, to make him less...
Yeah, but you know, if Yaakov is dead, he's dead. It's very nice, spiritual thing, but if Yaakov is dead, believe me, he cannot do many things. We don't believe, our religion don't believe in people coming back in 3 days and start to walk again. So, there is over here, if Lavan and Bilam are the same person, as the Targum says, so we have a problem, all of us, that we have two grandparents. In order, each of us, we have two sets of grandparents. It doesn't go with one. So for one side we have Yitzhak and Abraham, and from one side we have Lavan and Betuel. So 50% of our genetic code come from them. If you want to acknowledge or don't want to acknowledge. When somebody is in your genetic, in the code of in your DNA code, it's something that you have to know how to deal with it, because if you don't know, it goes out even unknowingly. I had a case in our synagogue, in our community, a few months ago. Very interesting. They come to ask me a question. There was a young immigrant of our community that came to America, and through to his father left the family, and he came with his mother, and with bad friends he became very involved with drugs, and then after drugs it was stealing, and after stealing was jail time. And after about 6 months in jail, they gave him permission to go out in one condition. He has to find a place to work, and he has to show a kind of income as a part of his the rehab. So he came to me, he said, Rabbi, please help me. So I approached one of our businessmen and I told him, you know what, please take him to work by you. He's going to work, do something, and just pay him something on the $100 a week, something just to show that he start to settle. He came to ask me, Rabbi, I have no problem to do a mitzvah. But are you sure that if is my job, my business, people come and buy stuff, it's like a supermarket, like a meat store, people are paying and taking stuff. Do you think it's smart to this person to have access to cash machine? Now then I tried to explore, and I spoke to the mother. She said that his father, this person, he has a history of addiction. So he is a gambler, his father was alcoholic. There is a problem in the genetic code that it talks about addiction. One drugs, one alcohol. And the question of this person is, Rabbi, if I'm taking to work and he swear to you that he's going to be now, is going to be okay, does he have the ability to control himself or not? What would you say? Huh?
Probably not.
Probably not, yes.
In the real world, no.
What?
In the real world, probably no.
Why not? The burden is too much, yes?
The Tava is going to be. It's right everything in his hands.
He doesn't even talk about Tava. He said, Rabbi, this person in his genes, in his genetic code, there is a complication.
We have in our genes also, Lavan, army, we control it. We still fight it.
But we have
every day within ourselves. So I think it's a good potential to become.
Wonderful. I like Aaron optimism. Or should be realism too, but it's good. So I leave this for a side, and we'll see that we want to know. Lavan was a very religious person, especially when he was talking, and we learn from him. I told you a few times already that we go now, the most important mitzvah in the Torah, you know what is this? The most important mitzvah of the Torah. Mitzvah number 1, to multiply. Nachon? The only way to do it, you have to get married. And when you're getting married, what you have to do? You have to say a blessing. Which blessing? Asher kiddishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al ha'arayot. Very, very, very powerful mitzvah. Who gave us the secret to make this mitzvah? Lavan Arami. Minay librikat Yerusin min haTorah. The Gemara says, our grandfather, Lavan. When Rivka left the house, what he told her? My sister, achotenu, at hayit le'alfei revava, v'yirash shar v'in Hashem, Hashem, Hashem. Oh, Hamechai. So Lavan is a very important person. He's teaching us to say blessing. And what is more beautiful when Lavan meets Eliezer, and Eliezer is telling him, I want to take Rivka. So what Lavan says? Roma? What did he say? Me'Hashem yatsa hadavar. Slava Bogu. Hashem says so. And if he says so, he is the boss. I cannot say nothing. But Eliezer can tell him, you don't know me, you just met me an hour ago. Why should I know you? God, Hashem said so. If you were in this room, what would you say? Eliezer has to learn from Lavan how to be religious. He saw a stranger. After 5 minutes, he tells him, you know what, Me'Hashem yatsa hadavar, your story is, it's not coincidence. I accept it. Hashem is the boss. He's running the show. Take Rivka and go. Then the Midrash tells us about other things that Lavan is doing. He tries to poison Eliezer. But you just say Hashem or Elohim. You just say Hashem is one, the only one. Why try to poison a person? So Lavan will tell you, I don't mix pleasure and business. Hashem or Elohim is pleasure. Business, I have to kill him, there is a lot of money over there, I have to make what I have to do. So Lavan Arami is something which is, it's beautiful that it separates Hashem, to believe in Hashem, and to worship Hashem. In America, it's very good. On all the dollar bills that we have, we are going to write and fight with this. In God we trust. God, you are the only one we trust. Just you, Hashem. But for this dollar, they will work on Shabbat and Kippur, they will sell on Chametz on Pesach, and they are going to violate many things. Why? It's written, it's enough. Bilam and Avraham, both of them, they had their own schools, nachon? There is Avraham's school is teaching to believe in Hashem and follow Hashem and to make the mitzvot of Hashem. And what Bilam is teaching us, or Lavan? You are going to do wonderful statements, impressive statements. You're going to look very well too. But it doesn't mean anything. On your day-to-day basis, you can do whatever you want, and of course, God will forgive you. And I'm telling you all the time, don't forget that Bilam is 50% of our genes belong to his side. And when Lavan and Bilam try to do something to Am Israel, they don't go just to kill like Eliphaz. They're looking to the roots. They're looking to what, to the genes, to your genetic code, and they try to put you over there, a pressure over there. And genetic code is very difficult to control because it's you. It's part of you. So, according to Bilam, when you say, I didn't come to the synagogue during the week, is not a matter of, yeah, I was weak, my desires, I'm tired. In Bilam, this was the avodah. To explore yourself, to be open, you don't have to be, you have to say to Hashem, thank you, put 5 minutes, your tefillin, and finish with this. Not because it's your weakness, it's a part of being you, being avodat Hashem. And he's going to justify everything by the name of Hashem. This is the style to make it a religion without religion. The Yetzer Hara is a part of your religion. Bilam doesn't accept the idea of Yetzer Hara as your enemy. Yetzer Hara is your friend. No, but he made it in a way that you don't have to fight with the Yetzer Hara. You become a partner with him. And then, believe me, the Yetzer Hara is a wonderful partner. So it's going to explain you that today is the middle of the day and you're going to believe to him. And it's... there is a very difficult Gemara. The Gemara says that when Sancheriv exiled the Jews to Babylon, who came to Israel? People from India. It's called Kutim, Kutia. And they used to keep mitzvot in Israel. Why? Because nobody keep mitzvot, they would die on the spot. Omeret HaGemara, all the mitzvot that the Kutim did in Israel, they did much better than the Jews. How can you explain it? It happens a lot when I go to when we go to make supervisions in our caterings. So when you say to the goy, don't put this stuff over here, he doesn't argue with you. If you say to the owner of the catering, he starts with me. My grandfather was a rabbi, my grandmother was mashgiach, my uncle was a butcher, I will teach you. There is something that you talk to them, but he's going to go to this Bilam genetic code and try to teach you, you know who was my father, my grandfather. I told you once, somebody once, he was a big chassid of the Baba Saleh. But he was, for his living, he used to have burglar. He used to be a burglar to houses of people. So once he came to a house and he saw the Baba Sali picture. So he started to collect. But you see the picture, he felt very, very embarrassed. His rabbi is watching it. So he couldn't handle it, so he turned off the picture, he continued. This is Bilam, using your genetic code of Bilam. If it's not good to steal, go out, please. No, Rabbi, don't look at me. I'm going to turn off the picture. Somebody once told me that he went to a restaurant and he asked, who is the kashrut? So they showed a picture of Moshe Rabbeinu. He said, Moshe Rabbeinu is hanged on the wall, and he asked me about the kashrut. Wow, where is your common sense? So he told him, if Moshe Rabbeinu was here and you were hanged on the wall, I would eat from here, but it's different. But because he put the Moshe Rabbeinu picture on the store, it should be glad kasher. How can you ask questions? Moshe Rabbeinu is here. So we're talking about over here a problem that we imported by Bilam. So one side we have Rabbi Itzhak Yehoshua, which is beautiful line, pure, holy, connected, and there is Bilam from the mother side, from the grandmother side, and we have to deal with this. Is there a way to deal with this? Yes. You know, when I read many years Sefer Bereshit, I came to a story over there. I didn't understand what the story talks about. There is a story over there that Lavan and Yaakov are asking about money. Money is a very important issue. It doesn't have to be no genetic code, it's international. So Lavan is asking Yaakov, what do you want as a salary? So, in the sheep, there are all kinds of sheep. It's called the spotted sheep, the streaked, and the dark marking. And Yaakov is telling to Lavan, because I don't want to steal with you, give me a certain amount of sheep, and whatever comes colorful I will take, and whatever is white belongs to you. What Lavan is doing, he went to all his goats and sheep, and he took just the one that there are 4 or 5 generations white. No, nothing in the genes. And he takes them, and half of them are almost falling apart. He told to Yaakov, this, whatever you get from this is yours. Yaakov is telling him, the genetic code over there, the statistic, there is no way. It's white all the way. Lavan is telling him, my friend, they are yours. Do whatever you want, whatever white for me, whatever colorful to you. And I never understood the story, why maybe you, but I don't have intention to have in my backyard sheep and try to make them too colorful or not colorful. And the Torah talks about a very long description what Yaakov did in order to have this sheep that there were never genes of any kind of spotted or dark markings over there, how to make it. So he was using, as the Sforno on the spot says like this, he took all kind of sticks and woods and made all kind of changes by cutting this. There's going to be all kind of changing in colors. And when the sheep had to get pregnant and had to be had to deliver, he put it in front of them. And the Sforno says, "Vaya matziga maklot lifnei atzon," he introduced to them, kedei sheistaklu, to look at this, and by imagining this, they are going to make their children spotted sheep. And what happened? They start to come out from white sheep. Never in the history, they start to have all kind of different colored sheep, and Lavan went crazy. He said it's impossible. It's a miracle. So I was wondering again, you see over here, it's again, they're going back to change genes, change the genetic code, genes to try to make the same issue, Yaakov and Lavan, the same issue over here, try to change it. And I was thinking, how did it change? You know how did it change? By the power of the look, of the Re'iyah, of the idea of the Nikra b'Ivrit, Koach HaTziyur, the power of the imagination that God gave to us. People with the power of their eyesight, they can make a big change in all their life. And in our case, to move from the genes of Lavan to the genes of Yaakov and Avraham Yitzchak, I was thinking about it. It's written in the Shulchan Aruch, the first part in the Shulchan Aruch. It says over there, the Rama says, Shiviti Hashem lenegdi tamid. In order to a Jew not to fall to the trap of Lavan, that he tried to destroy everything, is to imagine that you are in the palace of the king, and you are in the house of the king, and that you're sitting now in front of the king and eating. And he said, if you're going to start to imagine this, and to paint and to paint it in your memory, it will help you. Shiviti Hashem lenegdi tamid, to be all the time protected. Maybe we are going to understand another thing. When Yosef wanted to make a scene, it said that he saw the picture of his father. Again, the same thing, the power of imagining, of see the power of Yaakov by imagining this. This is the power of the Koach HaTziyur that is so important to a person, that it can affect, even fix all kind of wrong codes in his genes, which is something which is extremely important. And I was thinking in the parasha, where do we have it? And all the parasha gives these hints, and I would like to share it with you. What is the first word of the parasha? Vayar Balak, and Balak saw. And then we come to the essence of the parasha. We say that Bilam is going with his donkey and his two messengers. So it says 3 times, and the donkey and the mule saw, and the mule saw, and the mule saw. Why 3 times? All the Mfarshim asking why 3 times? Because when Bilam saw the angel, he was very embarrassed. Because you are a big prophet, a big guy, and your donkey, 3 times before, the donkey saw it. And we see all the idea of looking, and then when Bilam wants to give the blessing, he has to see, Vayar et ha'am, Vayar, and he saw, and he saw, and he saw. And at the end of the parasha, there is even interesting when Vayar Pinchas ben Elazar. And nobody knows why I say Vayar. Ketuv, because over there the pasuk say like this, that Zimri came with Cosby, and everybody was crying. Vayar Pinchas, Vayakom mitoch ha'edah. What did they see? Everybody say, what did he see? So Rashi says, Ira ma'aseh v'niskar. But the idea of, there is a hint over here. In order to really to work on ourselves, is to be very careful about what to see and what not to see. Sometimes one wrong sight can drive you to your genetic code, to the other parts of you, which you don't want to get over there. And this, the pshat of Lavan bikesh la'aros et hakol. But now, with your permission, I would like to go to a different direction altogether, about Yonatan ben Uziel. We spoke about him today, the translation. After we are going to read next week Parashat Matot, and afterwards Pinchas, then we're going to read Parashat Matot. In Parashat Matot it's written how Bilam was killed. By whom? Who killed Bilam? Pinchas. Nachon? Pinchas. Which is one, if Bilam was Balak. So before I go to Yodam and Uziel, the side issue is something we spoke a few times in the past, and I think it's very important. Lavan has a very dangerous quality. He never mentions his father's name. Yes. Everything is him. Yaakov, all the time, וישבע בפחד אביו יצחק, everything Yitzchak, Avraham, Yitzchak, Avraham. And this is very important, that it's another different, that Lavan knows the only way to break Am Yisrael is to separate him from his parents and from his grandparents and from his heritage. If you put him alone, he's going to be lost, God forbid. And it's all the time. When Lavan is complaining to Yaakov, what is telling to Lavan to Yaakov? He say, כי נחשוף נחשפת, נכון? מה זה נחשוף נחשפת? Lavan told to Yaakov, 20 years you are in my house, and you never, ever stop mention your father. I am sitting with you, oh, now my father is praying mincha. Now my father is praying Arvit. Now my father says Sfirat HaOmer. Now my father says, and Lavan told him, finish, you are here, you are a father already. 20 years passed. What Yaakov says? No, my father, my father, my father. Lavan told him, this point you killed me. Because I don't believe in father. I believe in the person himself. Yaakov is telling him, without my father, I was many already lost already. Without not forget who I am, Shiviti Hashem, I would lose myself. But I want to read you over here how Pinchas killed Bilam. And he says, V'yad Bilam bar beor katlu b'saifa, and they killed Bilam with a knife, with a sword. Ve'ava kevan dechama Bilam chayava yad Pinchas. When Bilam saw that Pinchas chasing after him with a sword, radifim batroi, he was running away from him, and he see that Pinchas coming close to him. He said the name of Hashem, and he was flying in the air. Interesting midrash. When Pinchas saw him flying, he used the same name, and he was flying too. Imagine now, Bilam and Pinchas are flying in the air now, chasing with each other. Okay. So we come close to him with a sword. Patach Pumeh b'milet achronim. Bilam now is complaining, is coming to beg for mercy from Pinchas. And he said to Pinchas, In tekayem yat nafshi, if you are going to leave me alive, mishtav analach, I'm going to swear to you now that from this day on, I won't do anything against you, and I'm going to help you, and I'm going to buddi chozer b'tshuva. Please leave me alive. Sure. Nice statement. Ve'amar le, and now Pinchas is telling him, I know that your real name is Lavan Arami. It means his grandfather. Devait lemishte Yaakov. You wanted to kill Yaakov Avinu, to destroy him, to uproot him. Ve'nechatet leMitzrayim begil lemovda zara. And you came to Egypt and became a friend with Paro to continue the abuse. He was one of the three advisors that advised Paro to abuse Am Israel. Umin Batar, and since we left Egypt and we are in the desert, you went to Amalek and sent them to us. Uchdu nidgarta, idgar lemilut yaton. And when you saw that it didn't work, you gave to Balak to be the king over there. And you send his daughters of Balak to take the boys of Am Israel out of the way. And because of you we lost 24,000 people. And you want me to have mercy on you? Is person like you so damaged, so crooked, so irreversible? Can do it Shuvah? So he took the sword and he killed him on the spot. This is the midrash that Bilam ben Uziel brings over here. You see from here something interesting. According to this midrash, Lavan, or with the cover of Bilam, he was the one that chasing Am Israel, Yaakov, all over, because he doesn't accept the fact that from his own children become such religious people. Why it's so important to us to learn about it? Because it's in ourselves. We are lucky to have from Israel every week or other week, there is religious magazines, talks about the religious life of Israel. So Israel is a Jewish state, but without Judaism. The government and the parliament they are not religious. So I saw an article on over the weekend that the government say that 90% of the people who came from Russia, from the European Russian, they are not Jewish. So now you are stuck with hundreds of thousands of not Jewish people in Israel. So what they are doing now the government put pressure on the rabbinate of Israel to convert them. But they say, but they don't want to keep. They say, no, they have to be Jewish people. This style to be Jewish without to be a Jew, this comes exactly from Lavan and Bilam, and we have it in our genes. For the people who are not religious, it makes a lot of sense, because it's the genetic code of Lavan. So now they created many courts, rabbinical courts, to convert people. And the rabbis say there is just one problem: they don't want to be a Jew. They say we don't want to be a Jew, but the government wants to force them. They have to be a Jew. Why? I don't know why. They can live in Israel. Why have to force them? Because if you are not 100% alert, it can attack you in a state level, in our personal level too. Now, how it applies to us in our community. America, it's beautiful when you hear, when every American boy and girl say in the morning, we are the American people, under God, indivisible. We are under God, and the money we put in God we trust. But there was never an empire in the world, in the history, that damaged so many people, so many Jewish people, because they made it over here a religion without religion. And they knew how to touch this Bilam genome. And we have it in ourselves to be careful. How do we be careful? Shiviti Hashem negdi tamid. I am the son of who? The grandson of who? And now it obligates me. It's not an easy task, but it's possible. As a side issue, when I lived in Israel, there was a very famous story. What a Jew can do if he really watches his eyes. The Baba Sali, he had a very righteous son by the name Baba Meir. And he died very young, well, 70 years old. He's young, Baruch Hashem, in this dynasty. And once there was a couple came to him, emergency from England, I think, from Ireland, from England, and they say that their child was kidnapped. Where is our child? And Baba Meir, that he was all his life watching his eyes and the sight and connect himself to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he was able to close his eyes and he drew a map of a street, of a bank, and a hotel in the second floor. And he made a small carta, small map, and he gave to the family. And based on this, they were able to release the child that he never saw in his life. He was never in this land, in the state before. This, when a person is using his eyes in the right way, then you can go very deep, and to see a lot of things that usually cannot see. The power of the eyes. God bless us that we are going to be in America for many years of happiness and spirituality, and be able to be away from all this Lavan and Bilam that they try to do. Shavua tov.